Did you know that one of Hollywood's most beloved actors once threatened a director with a gun while drunk on set? Or that another drank 5 bottles of champagne every day? These aren't just wild rumors. They're the shocking realities of Hollywood's darkest alcoholics. Ready to see which of your favorite stars made our list? Picture this. The glitz and glamour of old Hollywood, sparkling gowns, dazzling smiles, and the flash of cameras. But behind those perfect facades, a darker reality was brewing. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on some of Tinseltown's biggest stars and their battles with the bottle. Ever wonder what happens when the lights go down and the party keeps going? We've got stories that'll make your jaw drop, like the time a horror icon showed up on set waving a real gun, fueled by liquid courage. Yikes! But don't worry, we're not here for gossip. These are real cautionary tales about the price of fame and the dangers of addiction. So get ready, because we're about to take you on a journey through Hollywood's past. It's not all red carpets and Oscar speeches. Sometimes it's a rocky road from stardom to rock bottom. And trust us, you won't believe how some of these stories end. Remember those perfect smiles and dazzling performances? Behind the scenes, some of Tinseltown's biggest names were fighting demons stronger than any movie monster. How did beloved actors go from captivating audiences to threatening directors at gunpoint? The answer might surprise you, and it's a stark reminder that fame doesn't shield anyone from life's darkest struggles. Take Bela Lugosi, the man who brought Dracula to life on the silver screen. His descent into alcoholism took a chilling turn during the filming of one of his later movies. In a moment of despair, fueled by alcohol, Lugosi pointed a gun at director Ed Wood. "Eddie, I'm going to die tonight," he said, his voice filled with anguish. "I want to take you with me." It's a scene that could have come straight from one of his horror films, but this was all too real. But Lugosi wasn't alone in his struggles. Lon Chaney Jr., another horror icon, battled alcoholism and depression for years. Known for his role as the Wolfman, Chaney's personal life was just as tormented as the characters he portrayed on screen. His addiction took a toll on his health, leading to cancer and liver disease. The weight of his demons became so heavy that after filming Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, Chaney attempted to take his own life. It's a heartbreaking reminder of the pain hidden behind the mask of fame. Now, let's talk about Ava Gardner. She was the epitome of Hollywood glamour, but her off-screen antics were anything but glamorous. Gardner's wild lifestyle was the stuff of legend, filled with hard partying and rebellious behavior. During the filming of Night of the Iguana, she refused to shoot a night scene. Instead, she opted to drink tequila with director John Huston until they were both too intoxicated to continue. Can you imagine a star getting away with that kind of behavior today? Gardner's excessive drinking led to some pretty outrageous incidents. She managed to get herself banned from some of the most prestigious hotels in the world, including the Ritz Madrid and the St. Regis in New York. Picture it, one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, barred from luxury hotels because she couldn't control her wild antics. It's a far cry from the polished image we often associate with stars of the golden age. Think you know all about old Hollywood's boozy ways? Think again. We're about to pull back the curtain on some of the most jaw-dropping drinking habits ever seen in Tinseltown. From morning champagne to on-set meltdowns, these stories might change how you see your favorite classic stars. Let's start with the Duke himself, John Wayne. Known for his tough guy roles, Wayne had a reputation off-screen that was just as rough. His mean streak when drunk affected more than just his personal life. It spilled over onto movie sets. Wayne's drinking got so bad that filmmakers had to adapt their schedules around it. They'd rush to shoot his scenes before noon because after that, well, let's just say the Duke wasn't exactly ready for his close-up. Now, imagine starting your workday with not 1, not 2, but 5 bottles of champagne. Sounds crazy, right? Well, for Larry Hagman, star of the hit show Dallas, this was just another day at the office. Hagman himself admitted, "I showed up for work about 6:30 in the morning, and by around 9 I might have opened a bottle of champagne, which I would nurse until about noon. But all that bubbly came at a steep price. Hagman's excessive drinking led to severe health issues, including liver disease, and ultimately played a role in his death from throat cancer. Sometimes the saddest stories are the ones that go unnoticed. Take Marie Prevost, a star of early Hollywood. At just 40 years old, Prevost lost her battle with acute alcoholism. But the truly heartbreaking part? Her body wasn't discovered for 2 days after her death. It was only when her dog's incessant barking caught the neighbors' attention that anyone realized something was wrong. It's a stark reminder of how isolation and addiction often go hand in hand, even for those who seem to have it all. Remember Glenn Ford, the ruggedly handsome star of films like Gilda and The Big Heat? Well, Ford's drinking problem left him unable to walk for an entire decade. Can you imagine? A leading man, known for his physicality and charm, confined to his bed because of alcohol. Ford's struggle with the bottle was made even worse by a tumultuous personal life, filled with high-profile relationships and breakups. These weren't just private battles. They played out in the public eye, often with devastating consequences. Missed film shoots, on-set incidents, and scandalous headlines became all too common. Hotels banned some stars, while others found themselves blacklisted by studios. The very industry that had made them famous was now turning its back on them. As we've seen, addiction can strike anyone. But for some of Hollywood's brightest stars, their battles with the bottle led to truly shocking final acts. What happened when these legends reached their breaking point? Let's dive into the tragic endings of some of Tinseltown's most beloved figures. Remember Gig Young, the charming actor who won an Oscar for They Shoot Horses, Don't They? His story takes a dark turn that's almost too shocking to believe. On October 19, 1978, just 3 weeks after tying the knot with Kim Schmidt, Young's life came to a horrifying end in a murder-suicide. It was a chilling finale to his long-standing struggle with alcohol and pills. Young's addiction to booze and tranquilizers, especially Valium, didn't just affect his personal life, it torpedoed his career. Can you imagine being so out of it that you get kicked off a movie set? That's exactly what happened to Young during the filming of Blazing Saddles. He collapsed from substance abuse, and just like that, his part in the classic comedy was gone. Now, let's talk about the incomparable Judy Garland. From The Wizard of Oz to A Star is Born, Garland dazzled audiences for decades. But behind that million-dollar smile was a lifetime of pain and addiction. Garland's struggle with substances started way too early, thanks to the brutal demands of the studio system and a rocky childhood. Picture this. You're just a kid, and instead of milk and cookies, you're being handed pills to keep you going. That was Garland's reality. By her late teens, she was already dependent on various substances, trying to cope with the immense pressure of fame. It's a stark reminder that even the brightest stars can have the darkest struggles. William Holden, the ruggedly handsome star of Sunset Boulevard and The Bridge on the River Kwai, had his own battles with the bottle. As the 1960s rolled on, Holden's drinking problem became impossible to ignore. He started losing roles left and right, his career spiraling as his addiction tightened its grip. The final chapter of Holden's story is heartbreaking. He was found dead in his Santa Monica apartment, surrounded by empty vodka and beer bottles. The autopsy revealed a cruel twist. Holden had suffered a serious head injury after tripping and falling. It's a grim reminder of how alcohol can rob even the most talented individuals of their dignity and, ultimately, their lives. Last, but certainly not least, we have Montgomery Clift. Known for his intense performances and brooding good looks, Clift's life took a tragic turn after a car accident that left him in constant pain. This incident, combined with his pre-existing struggles with alcohol, sent him on a downward spiral of self-destruction. Clift once said, "The only line I know of that's wrong for an actor is to be boring." But his real-life drama was anything but boring. It was heart-wrenching. He grappled with the challenge of staying sensitive in a tough industry, turning to alcohol as a crutch. The closer we come to the negative, to death, the more we blossom. Clift once reflected, showcasing the vulnerability that made him both a brilliant actor and a troubled soul. So, what have we learned from these Hollywood tales of tragedy? Behind the glitz and glamour, even the brightest stars can struggle with dark demons. These stories remind us that fame doesn't shield anyone from addiction or pain. In fact, it can sometimes make things worse. Next time you see a celebrity headline, think about the real person behind it. These cautionary tales from Tinseltown's past still ring true today. In our celebrity-obsessed culture, it's easy to forget that stars are just people too. They face the same battles and temptations as the rest of us, often under intense scrutiny. Remember, there's always more to the story than what we see on the silver screen. These Hollywood legends may be gone, but their struggles continue to teach us valuable lessons about the true cost of fame.